Howdy, friends and neighbors. Thank you for joining us for our second Advent Midweek Reflection. Advent is a time of waiting. We're counting down to Christmas. The kids are eagerly waiting for school to get out for Christmas break, for fun family gatherings, and for opening presents. The kids aren't the only ones who are waiting. All of us are waiting for the joy of Christmas to settle into our hearts. Maybe you have preparations to make before you feel like you can relax and enjoy Christmas. There's baking to be done and presents to be bought and wrapped, cards to address, decorating, cleaning, and projects to complete. In many ways, busy waiting is the best kind of waiting. When John the Baptist told people the Messiah was coming, his main message was, "Prepare! Prepare ye the way for the Lord." When we're waiting for Jesus to arrive, the best thing we can do is prepare. But how do we prepare for Jesus to come? We know how to prepare when guests are coming over. We clean the house, straighten the couch cushions, wipe down the bathroom, and sweep the floor. We know how to prepare the way for earthly guests. But what about heavenly guests? How is that different? Over the centuries since Jesus' birth, there have been different stories and legends told about welcoming the Christ child on Christmas. Some of these are more familiar than others. There's the story of the little drummer boy, immortalized in the song with its chorus of pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, and its unusual suggestion that what the newborn baby Jesus needed most was a drum solo. Must be a cultural thing. Then there's the legend of the bells, also set to music, which tells this story. In a little village in the mountains, so the ancient legend tells, there's a little chapel at the end of the road that has very special bells. They will only ring on Christmas Eve, and no one knows just why. For it takes a miracle to make them ring, and a special gift to please the infant King. All the people come from miles around, bringing gifts to please the child. But the bells are silent and nothing is heard but the carols from the choir. But the old men tell of a Christmas Eve so very long ago, when the bells rang out so joyfully and fulfilled the legendary prophecy. In the little chapel in the village, a small boy knelt to pray. He had nothing to give to the holy babe on this very special day. So he laid his coat on the altar, and to everyone's surprise, the church was filled with a joyful sound, and the miracle bells rang out over all the town. And there's another story, written by Leo Tolstoy, rumored to have its roots in deeper legend. The legend of the cobbler, which tells of a cobbler, that is, a shoemaker, in a small village shop who had a dream that Jesus would visit his shop on Christmas the very next day. He awoke that morning and made eager preparations. But all day long, when the bell rang on his shop door, he was visited by people in need of a place to rest out of the cold, of a warm meal to eat, of a cloak for warmth, and a pair of shoes to keep their feet warm against the bitter cold. The cobbler, thankfully, shared generously with each of these, giving away his food, the shoes from his shop, and other items as his visitors expressed their need of them, always watching his door for the arrival of Jesus. At the end of the day, the cobbler was near tears, and he fell to his knees to pray and ask why Jesus had not come. To his surprise, he heard a voice telling him, "I did come. I came to you all day in your many visitors, and each time I was pleased because you shared with me generously. For whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. These stories and legends have many things in common. In each, the characters give what they have, sharing whatever resources are at their disposal, giving generously and not holding back. In each of these stories, the surprise twist is that the Christ child is never disappointed by their humble gifts. Far from it, Jesus is always most pleased when we give from the heart and when we give to others as though giving to him. So, what do all of these stories and legends have to do with waiting for Christmas and making preparations? Perhaps the best and most reassuring lesson is that God doesn't expect anything monumental from us. We don't have to win the Nobel Peace Prize to please God. We don't have to do anything particularly exceptional. If our Christmas decorations are a little lopsided, Jesus isn't going to mind. If our drum solo is hasty and uneven, if our Christmas cookies aren't the kind that might win a purple ribbon at the fair, none of that matters. In fact, far, far more important than what we make or do is the attitude of our hearts as we make and do it. We don't have to wait until we're done making Christmas cookies to celebrate Christmas. We can celebrate as we bake, as we decorate. Far from feeling stressed when the dough won't cooperate or the frosting wants to run, we can laugh and sing and rejoice even. For Jesus does not expect perfection from us. Jesus is most pleased when we rejoice in him. So when the cookies get a little too toasty in the oven, when the presents you ordered in plenty of time are stuck in a tracking jam, or when the guests arrive before you get the house just the way you wanted it, when things go wrong and you're afraid Christmas is going to be ruined, stop, take a deep breath, and feel the hand of Jesus on your shoulder. Hear him chuckle lightly in your ear as he reassures you, it's all right. Everything I really want is right here. This season of preparation can be a stressful time, an anxious time, and a grouchy time of waiting, which can't pass fast enough. Or this season of waiting can be the celebration. We don't have to wait for Jesus to walk in. We can love every person we encounter as we love Jesus. We don't have to wait until it's time to open presents to celebrate. We can celebrate being present with all those around us, loving them as we love Jesus, and celebrating with them as we celebrate that Jesus was born among us at Christmas. Advent is a time of waiting, but that doesn't mean we have to wait to enjoy it. We can celebrate waiting. We can enjoy the preparations. And we can take comfort knowing that God doesn't expect us to do anything perfectly, only that we do everything with love. So let us celebrate the season of Advent with love, rejoicing that Jesus Christ is with us always. Thank you for joining me. Let's continue to read and reflect upon our daily devotions together, and join me again next week right here on our YouTube channel for the First United Presbyterian Church of Atlantic, Iowa, as we make our Advent preparations together. If you would like more devotion booklets to share with friends, we still have more here at the church, and as always, feel free to share this video with your friends. See you next week!